Boom, there we go. Now I can no longer hear myself. Hell yeah. What's going on, Gasidic? Welcome to the stream. Hope all is well. I see this account of yours does still have the goose, so that's good. We are going to be opening some Edge of Eternities booster boxes today, which is going to be pretty sweet. Just picked this up like 20 minutes ago. First booster box I've opened in 5 years. Usually I just buy like a commander deck or some packs here and there, so I'm pretty stoked, I gotta say. And apparently there's a guaranteed foil in every pack now, so that's pretty sweet. Back in my day, foils were not easy to come by. For anyone who is listening now or in the future, my name's Mackenzie. I am one of the hosts of the Eternities Retro Anime Podcast. And today, I'm diving into one of my favorite hobbies, which is Magic the Gathering. I primarily played Modern until everyone moved to Commander, and then I was basically forced to move to Commander. So I became a bastard, and I play a Eurocode deck. Because all of my friends I played with had blinged out Power 9 decks, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. So I run Yuriko like a degenerate. But hey, what can you do? But yeah, I started playing Magic the Gathering back in 2002 and was not good at it at all. Absolutely terrible. Played for a couple years, stopped, and then got back into it around 2012 and have spent way too much money since. Like way too much money. But let's jump into cracking some packs here. Start with our first one, which I keep pulling away from the camera. Let me adjust that real quick so there's more camera on screen. There we go. I haven't done a non just straight icon cam in a while. But starting with our first pack, got a Frontline Rager, Insatiable Skitter Maw. It makes me think of Necro Skitter, which is one of my favorite cards. Starbreach Whale, Starport Security, Germinating Worm, Pinnacle Killship. I thought I was going to hate this set. I thought it was going to feel like Star Trek in space. Don't get me wrong, I love Star Trek, but not in my Magic. But this ended up being a pretty cool set that still felt like Magic, but Magic in space. So that's pretty awesome. Nanoform Sentinel, Basic Maneuvers, Emergency Eject, Larval Scoutlander, Steel Worm Operator. Our rare is Bioengineered Future. 1 and 2 green enchantment for when this enchantment enters, create a lander token. Each creature you control enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it for each land that entered the battlefield under your control this turn. Okay, not too bad. I mean, I don't know anything about this set, so or people's reactions to it, but I like green stuff that gives me counters, so that's pretty sweet. And that is a common foil. Siege Ship Agarian. I like these guys because I really love Nantukos, which are a silly race from way back in Magic the Gathering days. I think the most recent was like Nantuko Husk, but that's nothing too crazy from there. Oh, look who it is. It's Feral Streep coming in to call me a nerd. Wow, so rude of you. How dare you? Just kidding, I love you. I'm not going to go through all the comments with you guys. That would take friggin' forever. Moxite. Let's jump straight to our rares. Or our uncommon. We'll do uncommons. Got Monoist Circuit Feeder. Downstrike Vanguard. Molecular Modifier. And our rare, a Lumen class frigate. A 1 and a white for a 3/5 spacecraft with station. That turns into a other creatures you control get +1/+1, and then eventually flying and lifelink. That's pretty cool. I do like station as like a change on crewing because it allows level up but crew style, so that's pretty cool. And our foil is just a common foil with Embrace Oblivion. And I believe that's supposed to be... Nope, that's not who I thought it was. I thought it was going to be Tezzeret. That's not Tezzeret. Though I do love Tezzeret. Tezzeret's one of those guys from like back in the older novels that I really love because I'm a nerd who owns every single Magic the Gathering novel ever made. Some of them, absolute horse crap. Other ones, absolutely fantastic. Especially the Brothers War novels, the first 4 books. You cannot go wrong with some Brothers War stuff. Again, I won't fight you with the commons. All right. Evangel. Sunstar Expansionist. Atomic Microsizer. There's a joke in there somewhere. And Atmospheric Greenhouse. And for our rare, Arch Enemy's Charm. 3 black, instant, choose 1, exile target creature or planeswalker, return 1 or 2 target creature or planeswalker cards from your graveyard to your hand, or put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. It gains lifelink until end of turn. That's actually decent for that second one. I wouldn't complain. And, ooh, foil rare. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Extinguisher Battleship. Holy shit. It costs 8. I keep going off screen with these things. It costs 8 to play this. I'm going to adjust this camera ever so slightly even more so I can be a little more on brand. There we go. Holy shit. 8 colorless for a 10/10 spacecraft. When the spacecraft enters, destroy target non-creature permanent. And then it deals 4 damage. Oh, I see why it's so expensive. Okay, that makes sense. Ooh, double foil. Hell yeah. I'll take a double foil. I do love foil lands. I'm currently collecting the remaining 2 of my Lorwyn, like original Lorwyn foil lands. Finally found those in a box, so I've been scanning all my stuff. So that's pretty sweet. All right, jump into our commons. We've got Honored Knight Captain, Unravel, Remnant Elemental, and for our rare, we've got Mutinous Massacre. Wow, the costs of these are crazy. 3, 2 black, and 2 red. Choose odd or even. Destroy each creature with the mana value of the chosen quality. Then gain control of all creatures until end of turn. That's pretty cool. I like that. Gaining haste. All right, I can dig that. Dak God Forever. No, not yet. We are only 3-4 packs into this this booster box, so hopefully. But no, not yet. But for our foil, we've got... Oh, hey, okay. We got 2 foils. Hold on. Wait, that's not even a foil. That's just a fancy-ass card. All right, I'll go... I like borderless. 5 and 2 blue for a Starwinder Leviathan. 7/7. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards. And it has a warp. 2 and 2 blue. I like that. I'm going to scan all these at the end to see what their actual value is, but I really like the look of that. I have a card in my Yuriko deck that's called Draco and Scion of Draco. And that kind of gives me Draco vibes from like the Metallic Dragon. I'm down. What's our foil? Common foil. Caveron Skywarden. Ooh, foil for us too. All right, okay. I'm not mad about that. I'll take it. You know, we got a... This is basically me opening cards. Extremely happy and excited. Yeah, the alt arts. Yeah, I I played Magic a long time, but I have not. Um, I'm not up to hip to the now with the terminology. I play a few different commander decks, and I know all about the lore. But I know etched foils and borderless, but I'm not too hip to the now and the rest of the stuff. But let's see here. Melt Strider's Resolve. Faller's Faithful. Station Monitor. And for our rare. Oh. You were just asking about anything spicy. That. Now that is spicy. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if it's worth anything. Let's find out. Mana Confluence. Let's see here. What number are you? You are 0025. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. I'll take a card that's 31 USD, considering I'm Canadian. I know enough to know if you're going to buy products, make sure it's the right one or it's a waste of money. See, I didn't pay a dime for this box because I have recently been scanning every single card I own, and it turns out some of my cards are worth some money. So I just walked in, dropped a couple of cards, traded them in, and got the box for free because my local game store allows you to use trade credit for sealed product because they're awesome. But that is a spicy boy. I am very happy about that. What's our next one? Possibility Technician. Oh, Kavus are back in this. That's cool. 2 and a red for a 3/3 Kavu Artificer. Whenever this creature or another Kavu you control enters, exile the top card of your library. For as long as that card remains exiled, you may play it if you control a Kavu. Man, Kavus are also old school. Mana Confluence is almost assuredly going to be banned in like draft and stuff, I imagine. Because it's a bit of a bonkers card. Foil. Common foil. Ooh, fancy mountain though. Well, uncommon foil. Okay. I'm here for it. So, because the box in Canadian cost me $240, well, cost in quotes. So far, we've got at least 40 of that back. So that's pretty awesome. All right. We've got Desculpting Blast with really good artwork from Jeremy Wilson. I love that artwork. It's so, I don't know what it is. It's just very unique. Territorial Bruntar. Watch that glare. Virulent Silencer. Ooh, that might go in my assassin deck. Whatever non-token creature you control deals comfortable, you get 2. Ooh, I like that. And our rare. Oh, it's still another common. Never mind. There's 3 uncommons in this. I wonder why that is. That must be new. Why is there 4 uncommons in these packs? Is that normal? I'm not good enough at these new packs. I don't buy enough of the new stuff. All my stuff is older. And okay, our rare. Ragost Deft Gastronaut. I know someone that wants this from a nearby playgroup, so they're just going to get given it because I'm not going to build around it. Red and white for a 2/2 Lobster Citizen. Artifacts you control are foods in addition to their other types and have pay 2 and tap and sacrifice to gain 3 life. Or pay 1 and tap, sacrifice a food. Ragost deals 3 damage to each opponent at the beginning of each end step. If you gain life this turn, untap him. That is very fun. I like that. And our foil, common foil with Night Luminary and standard lands. Oh, Magnus of the Moon, Ancient Tomb, and Strip Mine. I mean, that's also fair. There's a current combo you can play with Strip Mine in this that is basically infinite land destruction. And I think it's in draft and not just standard. If it might just be standard, but if it is draft, I can see why that would be a problem. Oh, I think I moved too far ahead. Oh well. Ray Blade Trooper, Vault Guard Trooper. Oh, lots of troopers. And our rare? Nope, still uncommon. There we go. Pinnacle Emissary. 1 a blue and a red for a 3/3 robot. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless drone artifact creature token with flying, and it can block only creatures with flying. It also has warp. Okay, I don't know. That seems. Nah. And our foil is Beam Saw Prospector. Nothing crazy there. Yeah, Mana Confluence. I can't remember when the first printing of Mana Confluence was. Let's see here. Mana Confluence's first printing was in Theros, I think. Yeah, in Theros. So it's been around for a while, but when it first came out in Theros Standard, it was a big deal because A, it became a commander staple, and also B, it's just really good. All right. Blade of the Swarm. Dauntless Scrapbot. Ooh, oh, hello. Godless Shrine. This is going straight in my Assassin Tribal deck for the commander deck I'm building. You cannot go wrong with a Godless Shrine. All right. What's behind it? Another rare? Ooh, another rare. Man, I'm so stoked about a Godless Shrine. I opened up some Tarkir packs trying to get some fetch lands recently. I got nothing, but I am happy to get a Godless Shrine. Abso-freaking-lutely. Also got Synthesizer Lab Ship. 1 blue for a 4/4 flying vigil. Well, when you eventually station it high enough, you get a 4/4 flying vigilance. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 other target creature you control becomes an artifact creature with base power, toughness 2/2, and gains flying. That could be fun. It's kind of like Animate Artifact, I think it was called. The art had like the little animated scissors. I would run the crap out of that. And whatever this is. Mechanozoa or something like that. Sure, you can go in the stack. I'll scan you later. All right. I love cracking packs. You shouldn't, to quote the professor, you shouldn't crack packs to find the cards you want, just buy the damn cards, but cracking packs is just so dang fun. All right, first uncommon, Specimen Freighter. Melt Strider, my brain instantly said that was going to be Urologist. It's not a Urologist. That would be a whole new level of Magic the Gathering that we haven't even gotten close to yet. Scout for Survivors, and oh my god, I keep forgetting there's 4 of these damn things. Alpha Real Dreaming Acolyte. Okay. What's the dang rare here? Another Acolyte. Elegy Acolyte. Human Cleric, 2 and 2 black for a 4/4 lifelink. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card and lose a life. And has Void. At the beginning of your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or a spell was warped, create a 2/2 colorless robot. That's kind of fun. I can dig that. And our foil is Vote Out, which is just some ugly looking goober. And I'm assuming cast out to space to his death. Sucks to suck. I have a strange factoid about me. I still have, to this day, every booster pack wrapper I have ever opened. They are in 1 long box, and they are compressed so friggin' tightly in that box, but every single pack I have ever opened, well, sorry, that's almost a lie. Every pack I've opened since 2012, and then probably 50% of the packs I've opened since 2002. So that's not too bad. All right, let's pull some cards here. Remnant Elemental. Savondam the Lucent. It's kind of neat. Death Touch Lifelink. Expensive, though. Good lord. Oh, hell yeah. Codecracker Hound? That's what I'm talking about. Look at that guy. Look at that cutie. Heck yeah. Edge Rover. And our rare Sledge Class Siege Ship. It's a 2 and a green for a spacecraft. When you get 7+, you got flying, and you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield for a 4/5. That's not too bad, especially on a token deck. That would slap. You'd get through that real quick. And our foil is a standard Starport Security. Nothing too crazy. I miss playing Modern. Even my local game store doesn't do Modern anymore just because there's not enough of a want for it. But I would always show up with like the jankiest decks that if they won, like the 1 in 10 chance they'd ever win, it was beautiful. Like my my Wither deck, which every time something that had -1 counters on it died, I got it. That was fun. I liked that. All right. Ooh, wasn't even close. Still not even close. There we go. All right, we got the All Fates Scroll. Litho Breaking. Wedgelight Rammer. And our rare is Halia Guided by Light. 2 and a white for a 3/3 human soldier. When Halia or another creature or artifact you control enters, you gain a life. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card if you gained 3 or more life this turn. And then it has Warp. Not bad. Not bad. And our foil. Station Monitor. Nothing too crazy there. Best place to check card prices depends on. A lot of people use TCG Player. TCG Player is fine. Card Kingdom for their business practices sucks. So I tend to just use TCG Player. They might also suck. I don't know. I haven't Googled them lately. I use a card scanning app called Delver Lens, but there's also Mana Box that you can use. That's pretty good, but I tend to just use TCG Player just because it has all the Pokemon and the One Piece stuff all in one place. Same with the occasional Digimon pack I like to open. Good lord. There we go. Dubious Delicacy. Another Vondum? Another... Is this the same friggin' pack? Oh, hello. We got another one of these fancy cards, which is pretty awesome. I'm going to see if I can get a price on this one right now. Edge of Eternities, number 45, $1.70. Never mind, not super fancy. Super cool looking. I love the artwork. That's pretty dang awesome. But it's not valuable. It's not always about value. You know, you just want the cool stuff. And also, they feel really nice. I don't know if this is a new Magic the Gathering thing. I didn't get a lot of the Final Fantasy set, mostly because it's sold out everywhere. But I like that. We got a Memnon, but Memenon, the right hand. A 3 and 2 blue for a 3/4 flying jellyfish advisor. You may look at the top card of your library. You may cast spells that are artifacts from the top of your library. And artifacts you control have tap and add blue. That's pretty cool. I like that. And, ooh, foil rare for a secluded Starforge. I like that. I like that. Tap, add colorless. Pay 2 and tap. X and tar. It's not that exciting, but I like it. Yeah. So if you my favorite website for finding Magic the Gathering art based cards is tagger.scryfall.com. So Scryfall, I'm sure you know what Scryfall is. I mean, if you don't, go to Scryfall. Scryfall is actually, you mentioned good card prices. I said TCG player. Use Scryfall. Scryfall is amazing, but Scryfall is something called Tagger. And you can search cards based off of tags in the art. So if you're like, I want a deck that is nothing but people with butt cracks that are showing, it will have a list of cards where they have nothing but butt cracks showing. It's crazy like that. But yeah, you can literally type in the tag anime and it will give all cards with anime alt art, because there is a ton of anime alt art cards that started coming out since Kamigawa Neon Destiny or Dynasty? Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Some of them are terrible looking, others are okay. All right. We got a reroute systems. Oh god. Eumidian Terrabotanist. Saurian Voidborn. I like that. Voidborn for vampires. Heck yeah. A Ruminous Rampage. And for our, I think, rare. Yeah. Ooh. Entropic Battlecruiser. 3 and a black for a spacecraft. Whenever an opponent discards a card, they lose 3 life. And if you can get it to 8+, you get a 3/10 flying death touch. And whenever it attacks, opponent discards a card. And they can't. Oh, and each opponent who can't loses life. 3 life. That's pretty cool. I like that. That might be wild in a low-cost artifact deck with a lot of mana stones. Oh yeah, for sure. I love a good colorless deck, or even just a deck full of artifacts in general. That's always fun. And our foil is a foil uncommon insect. Another, I'm just going to keep calling them Nantuko because I like Nantuko. For anyone watching who's just tuning in, my name is Mackenzie and I am the host. Sorry, I am one of the hosts of a retro anime podcast that watches and reviews retro anime every single week on all your favorite podcasting platforms. And we got a bunch of other videos here on the channel if you want to check those out. And make sure to sub, because we're almost 1,500 subs, and that'd be pretty baller of you. I think I pulled a couple extra uncommons out of here. I did. Reroute systems. Ruinous Rampage. Ilvoy Infiltrator with another gel. I do like that they're anthropomorphizing a lot of these like creatures instead of just being like, I'm a jellyfish in the ocean. It's like, I'm a jellyfish in space with a sword. So I like that. Our rare is Terminal Velocity. 4 and 2 red for you may put an artifact or creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. That permanent gains haste. When it leaves the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its mana value to each creature. Oh. That's pretty cool, actually. 6 mana to drop like a friggin' huge-ass creature like a Draco or a Scion of Draco and then just deal the damage. That's some Yuriko kind of stuff. I like that. I'm a fan of that. And our foil is a Dark Endurance. Nothing crazy. Just tossing cards all over here. Let's see what we got here next. Whoa. See if I can get the amount of commons correct. Nope. All right, we've got Uthros Scanship, Tragic Trajectory, Weft Stalker Ardent, a Drix. I don't know what a Drix is. I haven't read the lore for this set yet. I'm sure they're cool. And a Watery Grave. Heck yeah. So now we've got a Godless Shrine, a Watery Grave, a Wandering Fumarole, and a Mana Confluence. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Yeah, exactly. It's using your creature as a meteor. Can't go wrong with that. Oh, another rare land. Heck yeah. A Secluded Starforge, which I think we've already actually pulled, so that's cool. Oh, okay. I really like these full art borderless lands. They're pretty neat. I think we're like halfway through this box. Let's see if I can get the amount of comments correct. Huh. Yeah, there we go. All right. Hemo Symbic Might. All Fates Stalker. Cavanharia, or Cavaron, and Mouth of the Storm. Man, that art looks sick. Just a hungry boy eating spaceships. That's going to be me later when I throw my lasagna in the oven. So I'm very much so looking forward to. And our rare is Mightform Harmonizer. 2 and 2 green for an insect druid. 4/4 with landfall. And when a land enters the battlefield, double the power of target creature. That's pretty cool. And warp. Oh, another rare. No, it's just our foil. Nothing fancy, but fancy land. I will never complain about a fancy land. I care not for the foil, though. All right, see if I can get this correct. Yeah, there we go. Sammy, Ship's Engineer. Pull through the weft. Scrounge for eternity. That sounds like working a 9-to-5 job. Oh, hello. Thespian Stage. Man, I'm pulling a bunch of... I don't know how rare they are or not, but they're super cool looking. And I'm pretty sure Thespian Stage is the card that's used in that giant friggin' Kraken thing. Oh my god, what's it called? I don't remember. That landfall card is making the Tifa. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Thespian Stage is I don't know what it's worth. Hold on, let's see here. Which version do I've got? I've got 044 $15 US. Heck yeah. I will not complain about that. And then our rare is Ice Till Explorer. 2 and 2 green for a 2/4 Insect Scout. You may play an additional land. You may play lands from your graveyard, and whenever a land enters the control under your control, mill a card. That is a card that is definitely going in a deck of mine, because that is pretty dang fun. Oh, hello. Foil? Full Art Mountain? Don't mind if I do. Absolutely do not mind if I do. Man, what a good pack. Green rare I wanted, Thespian Stage, Foil Mountain. I'm living the dream, boys. I'm living the dream. Also, if you do like retro anime and you're not casually already subscribed to our channel, we do review lots of it. This week I had Dylan from the Anime Out of Context podcast, who, if you know anime podcasts, you'll definitely know them. He actually hosted our podcast this week and gave me Angel's Egg, which is a surreal, crazy anime that you should definitely check out. Oof, I wasn't even close. There we go. Another vote out. Use Social Engineering. Mechan Assembler. And basic maneuvers. Oh, full art of Memenin the Right Hand, which is our 3/4 Jellyfish Advisor. That's pretty cool. I'm digging that. And our foil is an All Fates Scroll. I really, really like the art on this one. Look at that. Come on, focus. There we go. Ugh. That cool art. Who's the art by? Dominic Meyer. Good job, Dominic Meyer. You don't suck. I have a bunch of old Magic the Gathering like signed art from back in the day. I haven't bought any artwork recently, but I did have a bunch of Mike Sass artwork. I have some old Phyrexian signed artworks. I have some Magic Origins signed artwork. I can't remember. Geesh. There we go. We've got Annul. Terra Pact Intimidator. That's pretty sick. I do like that artwork. Pulsar Squadron Ace. And our rare is the Eternity Elevator. 5 colorless for a spacecraft with tap. Add 3 colorless. Not too bad, not too bad. And if you can get it to crude 20 plus, add X mana of any one color where X is the number of charge counters on the Eternity Elevator. So it auto taps for 20 as soon as you get it to 20. Man, Proliferate's gonna rule with that. And our foil is an orbital plunge. Ice Till is the one that the alt artist threw. Yeah, some of these cards are wildly priced. I think the most expensive card I have is like a few $100s. Technically, on my wall in frames, I have original dual lands and original Power 9, but they are all fake. They are for display purposes only. Why? Because I could. Did I miss an uncommon? Nope. Nice. I actually got it that time. All right, we got a Dubious Delicacy. Bygone Colossus. Full Bore. It's very Doom-like. Picture the Doom guy just absolutely roasting that guy in half. Mechan Navigator. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Elevator won't be that big in Standard, I don't think, but Commander for sure. It's 100% going to be so easily abused in Commander. And our rare. Space-Time Anomaly. With some Loic Canavagia artwork. Which is pretty... Oh my gosh. Reversed. Dang cool. That is 2, a blue and a white. Target player mills cards equal to your life total. Which in Commander, if you can play this on like turn 2, that's not a bad mill. That is not a bad mill. I mean, you could always archive trap it and get them for fetch lands and stuff faster, but that's not the point here. And our foil is Thawbringer. I'm really sad they didn't count these guys as Nantukos. They probably are in spirit, but I keep talking about Nantukos. I'm going to stop mentioning Nantukos. Let's see what we got next here. Can I guess the exact amount? Nope, I was way short on that one. I'll do a quick run through all the commons and uncommons to see if I find the art I really like, but starting with Caesarean Voidborn again. Rescue Skiff. Seed Ship Brood Tender. And our rare. Oh, not our rare. Desculpting Blast again. Fantastic artwork. Heck yeah. Well, the charge counters, I think, are tied to crewing it, basically. Like tapping creatures. But yeah, you can just keep tapping creatures and keep adding them. All right, our rare. Moonlit Meditation. 2 and a blue for an enchantment aura. The first time you'd create 1 or more tokens each turn, you may instead create that many tokens that are copies of enchanted... Ooh. Ooh. I have a deck that this is going into right away. Look at that. So fancy. And Slag Drill. Oh, man, I am liking the Pokemon style treatment of multiple foils in a pack. That is pretty sweet. All right, see if I can get close. Close enough. Got another Halia, but this time it's the Ascendant Cadet. We've got Felgrav Ship, Honor, Galvanizing Saw Ship. That's pretty sick. And for our rare, our first official mythic of the polls, Cythera the Super Void. 2 and 2 black for a legendary enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent chooses a creature they control and exiles it. At the beginning of your end step, if a player controls no creatures, sacrifice Solthera, then put a creature card exiled with it onto the battlefield under your control with an additional 2+1/+1 counters. That's pretty cool. I can get with that. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent chooses a creature they control and exiles it. Huh. So basically, you're just going to mess up their board and then steal something. I like messing up people's board states and stealing their stuff. Whoa! Hold on. The double mythic pack. What? Man, we're getting lucky with these packs. Holy moly. Our rare mythic, our foil mythic is Evendo Waking Waking Haven. Enters tapped to add a green. You can station it with 12+. You can pay a green and tap it and add green for each creature you control. I like that. And it's foil. Foil mythics are always fun. The artwork is a little dark and kind of fine, I guess. But I'm not going to complain. You think Honor is going to be a staple in Standard? Hold on, let me double check what Honor was. Going back through all the cards. I don't remember which Honor was, or which one Honor was. I think I've been adding non-rares to my rare pile. No, maybe not. I don't remember which one Honor was. That's the Gaia's Curdle. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that. I'm a fan. All right. Not even close to getting close. Oh my gosh, I was way off. All right. Starting with a Starfield Shepherd. Memorial Team Leader. More badass Kavu. Seed Ship Agrarian. And our rare is a Synthesizer Lab Ship. 1 blue for a starship or spacecraft with station at the beginning of combat on your turn up to... Wait, what does this say? I'm in the dark now. Up to 1 other target creature you control becomes an art... Oh, we already got that one. Nothing fancy. And a foil Zookeeper Mechan. But full art lands. I will absolutely take more full art lands. Bottom right stack white card. All right, hold on. Let me find it. Oh, it was right. It was right on top. That's mildly embarrassing. Oh my. Honor. 1 white. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and draw a card. You know what? A +1 counter and drawing a card for 1 white is actually really good. So you're right. I think this might see some dang play. Heck yeah. Getting down to the wire here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 packs left. See if we can get some more fancy lands. Did I do it right? I did. No, I didn't. Fuck. All right. Starting with Monoist Sentry, which is a pretty cool looking robot. Larval Scoutlander. Emergency Eject. Or Eject. Tannock. Memorial Ensign. And for our rare, we've got Beyond the Quiet, which is 3 and 2 white for exile all creatures and spacecraft. I'm sure this will be handy in draft for sure. If you want to reset the board. I know people hate when people reset the board. It does thin your deck, yeah, for the other card. I like this. Let's see this flavor text here. As the Supervoid's photon collar washed over them, time stopped. Their souls would experience the grandeur of their demise. Nice. Imagine if it was a card that said 4 white, put a 4/4 creature, draw 4 cards. I mean, 4 white for a 4/4 creature and 4 cards would also be pretty good, I think. I'm not a, Magic the Gathering genius, but I'd be down for that. And our foil is a Red Tiger Mechin. Like I said earlier, I was so ready to hate this set. I was also so ready to hate the Final Fantasy set because I don't really like the Universes Beyond stuff. And then when they were like, hey, we made Edge of Eternities, not just Star Trek in space. It's got its own flavor, its own themes, it's all this stuff, and it looks really good. I fell in love with it. The Final Fantasy set is the best, Universes Beyond set ever made. They'll never top that. I've seen the Spider-Man spoilers. Trash. I just don't think we should have Spider-Man in Magic the Gathering. I've seen the Avatar stuff that they've released a little bit of. I don't care for it. I just want to get to Lorwyn. I want to get to fucking Lorwyn. I've been waiting for Lorwyn for so long, and then they friggin' pushed it back like a bunch of wieners. How dare they? All right, first uncommon is another Edge Rover. Full Bore again. Bygone Colossus. Mechin Navigator. And for our rare, another Mythic with Sammy Wildcat Captain. 4, a red and a white for a 4/4 Human Artificer Rogue. Double Strike and Vigilance. Spells you cast have affinity for artifacts. They cost 1 less to cast. I like that. I like affinity. I like artifacts. I like making things cheaper without having to, do other things. Now, that being said, 6 mana for this, running it as a commander would be bonkers because as soon as this thing dies, your commander tax on this is insane. But in a deck, I could see having some fun with this. At least as a backup for my other affinity-based cards. And our foil, Sunstar Expansionist, which is just a human knight. Nothing crazy. All right, up next. Let's see if we can get some more of those fancy lands. I would have loved to have bought a collector booster box today, but in Canada, collector booster boxes are like $460. And there is no way in hell I am ever going to buy a booster box for $460. That is not an old set. I like my wallet too much. All right, starting with Ilvoy Infiltrator again with his little fancy sword. Rescue Skiff. Close Encounter. Siege Ship Brood Tender, and our rare is another. Damn, this is like our 5th mythic. Adagia, the Windswept Bastion. Tap for a white, or at 12+, pay 3 and a white and tap. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact or enchantment you control, except it's legendary. Oh, interesting. So the other one, so with the way the Legends rule works, the original wouldn't have to get destroyed because it's not legendary. You just can't duplicate things more than once. Which is like, that's fair. I can understand why. Some things you shouldn't be allowed to do multiple times. They will ruin the game. And our foil is Weft Stalker Ardent. I got a million notifications going on here. Eesh. All right. Up next. Down to our final 4 packs. First uncommon. Glacier Godma for a Leviathan. Biomechan Engineer. Dual Sun Technique. And our rare is Zulfit Osteoharmonist. That art is super cool. Look at that freaking art. Sorry, ignore my glare. I'm not used to having a camera when I stream. I'm usually just doing games. Usually I stream on Twitch. Figured I'd give YouTube a try. That is a 1 and 2 black for a 2/3 human wizard. Tap, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a skeleton in addition to its other types and has no abilities. That is super flavorful and fun. So you're like, hey, I'm going to return this Eldrazi, but all it is just a chonky boy made of bones. I like that. I could mess with that. And our foil is a Sunstar Lightsmith. Nothing crazy, just an uncommon. The flavor text of, she forges blades of incandescence and quenches them in pitch darkness. I don't know why I did like the darker evil voice for that. Hello and welcome to Magic the Gathering. Well, if you prefer, I could do a Kermit the Frog. Welcome to Etch of Eternities. All right. Third last pack. Uncommons. Meltstrader's Resolve. Station Monitor. Faller's Faithful. And our rare, yeah. Biotech Specialist. Red and white for a 1/3 insect scientist. When this creature enters, create a lander token. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, this creature deals 2 damage to an opponent. Okay, so it's basically, it's guaranteeing you a token to deal 2 damage with it. So, I mean, to get, for 2 mana, to deal 2 damage and get a basic land in a 1/3, that's pretty good. I'm a fan of that. And a foil command bridge for our land. I like that. Our penultimate pack. Moving into our final, last 2 of the box. Can we get something crazy good in these last 2? Starting with Close Encounter for our first uncommon. Another Territorial Bruntar. A Tragic Trajectory. That art's kind of fun. I like that. Dying in Space. How wonderful. Oh, hello. Another one of these. Meteor Crater. Are you worth anything, Meteor Crater? I have the original. God, what does it have? Not Plane Shift. Yeah, Plane Shift. I have the original Plane Shift version of this one. And this version is worth, what are you, 116 or 161? Oh, you are 26. $2.25. But the original artwork for this one's really fun. I got it pack fresh. Oh, there's way more in this pack. Hold on, I didn't even realize it. We got Meteor Crater. That's awesome. Then we got in full art Terra Symbiosis, which is a 2 and a green for an enchantment that says whenever you put one or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, you draw that many cards. Do this only once each turn. So once per turn, you could put 2+1, draw 2 cards. You just can't do multiple goes. I like that. Like I said, I like drawing cards and I like putting tokens on things. So that is going to go in a deck. Holy shirt balls! We get a Media Crater, we get a full art, and we get a foil mythic with Alpha Real Stone Chosen. 3 and 2 black for a 3/3 human cleric with ward, discard a card at random, and void. When Alpha Real attacks, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, defending player loses half their life rounded up. Damn. Whenever... Or a spell was... Huh. That's pretty fun. I like that. I like that. He kind of looks like a nerd, but that's cool. We're all nerds here. All things end. I'd rather embrace that truth than the fantasy of eternal light. All right, edgy boy. I see you. I feel you. Okay, final pack. And before we get in this final pack, I'm going to have another shout out to the podcast. Make sure to follow our podcast on all your favorite podcasting platforms or YouTube. Like, subscribe, give us a review if you like the content. We've got over 116 episodes of retro anime reviews that range from iconic classics to absolute horrible ecchi trash that I force my co-host Lindsay to watch just because it's fun to watch her squirm. We also have guest episodes with members of Anime Out of Context, my sister, and oh my god, I'm drawing a blank here. Who else have we had on the podcast here recently? We have Nate from Brain Bend, which is a cool band, cool Canadian band. You should check them out. Tesseract, sending you luck. Here we go. Final pack. We'll do the whole pack for this final one. Why not? Whoa! Aside from being a story spotlight, that art is awesome. Dominic Mayer's killing it this set. We've got a Cellcraft Mechan, Focus Fire, Drix Fate Maker, Rig for War, Virus Beetle, Pinnacle Kill Ship, Umbral Collar Zealot. Into our uncommons here, we've got the Unravel, counter target spell if it's a mana of... okay, not bad. Harmonious Grove Strider. Wait. Oh, it's equal to the number of lands you control. So when it enters, it's at least going to be at least a 2/2 because of the green, although you could get that from other things too. Well, who knows? And for our rare... Oh, no, not yet. Ottered Knight Captain. Here we go. Final pack of the box. Are we going to be blessed like we did with our last pack? Or are we about to end on absolute trash? Oh, is this like the only Eldrazi in the set? Anti-causal Vestige. Focus. There we go. 6 colorless for a 7/5 Eldrazi. When this creature leaves the battlefield, draw a card. Then you may put a permanent card with a mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from your hand onto the battlefield. Huh. Oh, I see. You can... Oh, okay. I get it. You warp it in, and then it leaves, and you can drop some stuff on it. Not too bad. Plus some Eldrazi hints, which is kind of fun. And our foil. Oh, it's a common. Ending on a common. Boo. I see how it's going to be here. I see how it's going to be. But let's scan some of these cards and see what our value is going to be. As I drop stuff all over my desk. Also, that's my adorable phone wallpaper. You cannot go wrong with some Chun-Li. Love me some Chun-Li. I've been scanning a crap ton of cards this week. I think so far I've scanned 1,927 for a total value of almost 4,300 bucks. But let's create a new list here. And we're going to create this list and have it be Edge of Eternities box. We're going to scan these real quick and see what kind of value we got from these packs. Oh, it's not going to pick up on this being a mountain, is it? Nope, that's fine. Watery Grave. Also Vestige. Read the damn card. That is also a foil. Wait, did it just make it worth less because I made it a foil? Damn, okay. I see you. Terra Symbiosis. Command Bridge foil. Biotech Specialist. Zoofit. Scad. Dang, they're worth good money. Whoa! $50. Hell yeah. That's what we're talking about. The Avendo Waking Haven, 50 bucks. If you happen to hear gross sounds behind me, my cat is currently vomiting. Thankfully, he's doing it into his litter box. Lovely. Gross. Would you say? Stone Guy, the foil's $2 an off. Yeah, that's so weird. That's not the right card. That's also not the right card. This does not want to read the Sathera. Nope, I'm going to have to manually enter this one. So, Thera, the Super Void. $20 card. All right, dig it. Moonlit Meditation. Space-Time Anomaly. Eternity Elevator. Damn, some of these cards are packing. Oopsie daisy. Can I get this mountain this time? There we go. Finally got the dang mountain. Almost through these cards here. Find out the total value of the box. 427. That was a foil. Terminal Velocity. Meh. Where is the price not available? Edition. What number are you? You're number 99. Secluded Starforge, 427. Another minimum. Station Monitor, foil. Leah, 397. 412. Dollar. Scad. Do it. I believe in you, phone. Really? You don't want to scan this boy? Come on, do it. All right, fine. Manual into that later. Synthesizer lab ship. Pinnacle emissary. Night luminary. Why are the foils worth less than the regular cards in this damn app? This is like the 4th time this has happened now. And by 4th, I mean 2nd, but that's not the point. Ragost. Wow, I didn't realize people hated foils so much nowadays. Scad. Meh. It's just a common. Doesn't matter. That's just a common. Doesn't matter. Starwinder. Mutinous Massacre. That's just the land. That one's worth more foil. All right. Okay, I have the total value of my box, which is a weird thing to say out loud. Taking guesses here, folks. In the chat, what do you think this booster box value is going to be? I paid $240 for it. Technically zero because I traded cards for it, but technically it's worth $240. What do you think it's going to be? Place your answers now. And that's not including any of these comments that may or may not be worth money. But just from the rares, mythics, and foils, what do you think it's going to be? Dun, 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 dun. We got one bet for 350-ish. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Place your bets now. Maybe some of these uncommons will increase that price, but we're just going to go off the rares and the mythics and the foils. All right, I won't keep y'all waiting anymore. Dak, God forever, you were so incredibly close. It's kind of crazy. It is a total of $354. Not bad. Not bad. You are pretty much right on the money. Your prize is staring at Freeran. You get to stare at Freeran reading a book. Don't look at the feet, you weirdo. They put too much detail into those damn feet. That's your prize. I mean, I guess I've also got this Destined Rivals pack, which I've already opened. I just don't remember what I had in here. Nothing great. Awesome. Cool. 350 is not bad. You know what? I will take it. I got some great pulls in here. We've got, price-wise, the Avendo Waking Haven, $50. I'm not even sure if that counted as being foil. Yeah, it did. Okay. Next is our Mana Confluence at 44. Our Terra Symbiosis at 22. Sothera at 20. Sammy at 14. Watery Grave and Godless Shrine around the $11, $12 mark. And then, yeah, our cheapest card that we got is... Some of these don't even have prices on them. Why is there a hand weir in here? Like, Entropic Battle Cruiser hasn't given us a price. It's foil, or it's full art's 12, so I'm assuming the regular is probably about $4, so we'd be closer to, like, say $360, but still. That's pretty dang good. Yeah, I love that free run figure. I have a whole whack load of free run figures. Because free run's great. Also got a cute cute Lum from Ursa Yatsura. This is about the gooneriest figure I own, because I'm not a gooner figure owner. If you all are who are watching, that's cool, man. You do your thing. Not my thing, but you do yours. Because hell yeah. I've also got from Freerin, because, you know, Freerin rules. And you guys can't see it because, yeah, obviously I've got a top-down cam. I have almost 60 Gundams on my walls because I used to be a Gundam streamer and built a bunch of Gundams and fun stuff like that. A bunch of Dragon Ball Z figures, bunch of little things like that. I got a bunch of old Japanese woodblock prints, like original woodblock prints from as far back as 1710. That's my oldest. If it's not inside its museum glass and you blow on the edges of it, it fades away into the ether like a dandelion. So I don't recommend doing that. But yeah, I'm a nerd, I guess you could say. I got a giant D20. I got a whole set of Dragon Balls. Those I can probably show. Dragon Balls. And as you can tell, I'm also a... See, here's the thing. I've got a crap ton of Bulbasaurs. But my favorite Pokemon is Ivysaur. The problem is that you can't get nearly as many Ivysaur toys. But I do have this, which is adorable. It's an Adoptosaur, and they all have different types of flowers on them. How friggin' adorable is that? I was at a market recently, and someone had this at their booth, and I was like, yoink! You're mine. You're coming home with me. And it came with a little 3D printed keychain, which is adorable. Because how can you not like Bulbasaur or Ivysaur? They're just a little green guy. And if you don't like them, I will come to your house and destroy you. Or something like that. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. Man, I don't know what else to friggin' say here. I don't have a guest for this Tuesday's podcast episode, and Lindsay is still away with some work stuff, so I don't know what I'm doing yet. But I'm going to figure it out. I got a couple ideas that I'm going to run by some people to see if it's worth it. That'll be a little bit different from the usual format. But hopefully I can think of something. I've got until like Monday at midnight to write and record something good. So here's frickin' hoping. I've been squeezing this a lot out of stress. As you can tell, because his eyes are starting to dissipate. Also, if you're a Sanrio fan, Batsmaru is the best Sanrio character. How dare you say differently? I was so glad when Cinnamoroll didn't win the Sanrio contest. I knew Batsmaru wouldn't win because not enough people really care about Batsmaru. They prefer Kuromi for their gothic their gothic Sanrio characters. But you can't go wrong with some Batsmaru. Oh, excuse the incredibly creaky ass chair. It's been a while since I've done anything to this chair to make it not terrible, because I no longer work from home. I worked from home for years, but now I have an office with a less squeaky chair. If you folks like manga, actually, for anyone watching, here's my face reveal. Art of me I got done. I highly recommend Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko. This is my absolute most favorite manga in the entire world. It is stunning. That's the wrong direction. Oh, hold on. Why are you yelling, cat? You okay? You okay? You're okay. That was a weird noise, though. Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko. It is basically about this android who lives in a world that is slowly dying, but not in like a bad, terrible way. In like a everyone's come to peace and they're just waiting for the world to slowly disappear underwater while living their best lives and just having a good time. It is beautiful. Hitoshi Ashinano is a fantastic artist who does just these beautiful, simple, but elegant stories. There is an anime. If you want to watch the anime, I recommend doing the first OVAs instead of the more recent ones because the originals are better. But like, oh my gosh, the artwork is just so peaceful, so beautiful, so calming. Well, as I say calming as I show an explosion, it's a firework. Who doesn't like going to fireworks and having a fun time with the uncles? And it includes color pages. And they're beautiful. The android's name is, I say android, she doesn't have any sort of human parts. Is android? So maybe she's just a robot. I don't know. But this is one of the most just, it changes your mindscape, your brain chemistry when you read it. God, yes. So the slow ending of everything is a bit terrifying. I fully agree. However, the way it's positioned in this world is that there was some sort of ecological disaster that melted a bunch of ice caps, did a bunch of things, and the water has been raising. But that was a long time ago. Very few people would remember that even happening. I'm not sure if anyone was actually alive when it happened in this current setting of the world. But the way that it works is that the towns and the people, they've adjusted, they've learned, they've come together in these much smaller communities. Because when there's natural disasters, birth rates are down, yada yada. There's still big cities here and there. But a lot of it's separated by water. But this android runs a cafe who maybe gets 1 or 2 people a week. But we just get to follow her adventures through this world through the lens of, I say lens because not only is she a robot, but also she gets a camera gifted to her by the owner of the cafe who has mysteriously disappeared to do some travels and occasionally sends her stuff. And he sends her this camera to tell her that her memory banks will not always be like, they're not infinite. Eventually she's going to start to forget old things to make room for new data. And so to take photos to help, you know, keep extra memories for her to see and whatnot. But I'm explaining this terribly. They don't focus on the end of the world as part of the story. It's just the setting that they're in. But the characters, you've got the uncle, you got the young little kid, you got Alpha, you've got Alpha's android friend, who there's a bit of Yuri stuff going on there, primarily because the way that androids transfer data is through kissing, which I know, it's a little silly, but it's done in such a cute way that it's like totally worth it. And like, man, how can you go wrong with just this adorable artwork? It's just so much fun. She rides a little moped. It's great. Highly recommend. There's 5 volumes that are collected. They're thick. They're like 450 pages each of just pure awesomeness. This is one of those manga that you can get, since this is a recent-ish re-release of the whole thing, you can get it at your Chapters, your Indigo, your whatever bookstores you have down in the States. What do you got? Cracker Barrel? Not Cracker Barrel, Crate and Barrel. I don't know what you guys have in the States. But this is a fantastic manga. If you check our socials and go back like a month or two, I took a bunch of still shots from this and I turned it into like wallpapers. Actually, hold on. Let me give an example of one of these said wallpapers, just because I can. Let's see here. Extra content, Yokohama project. Let's pick a good one. Basically, I took existing artwork and I made it real. Yeah, let's do this one, for example. So, this is an example of some art that's a real photograph, and I cut them out and I put them in it. And I think I've done like 20 of these, and they've all turned out pretty decent. The YYK or the YKK community was pretty happy with them, so that's always nice. I'm a fan of that. I've also got let's see, what other ones do I got here? I've got 20 to choose from. What's a fun one? Oh, I really like this one. This is a good one. Just, chilling in a absolutely beautiful alleyway. Our alleyways around here are terrifying. If I looked outside right now, I probably got 10 crackheads. And I don't mean that like as a joke. I mean, literally, there are people outside my building, and I'm not even in a bad area. It's just how it goes. Let's do another one here. Another beautiful one. Let's see. Here's one for you gooners. You absolute gooners. Ain't that adorable? I love Mount Fuji. It's a weird obsession of mine, so I had to do the Mount Fuji in the background. Can't go wrong with that. But yeah, make sure to check out Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko. Even if you just want to pirate it and read it online on your phone, just read it. I was going through a bit of a rough patch, and I was like, I don't know what to do, and I just bought this on a whim because I like the cover of it. And then I ended up reading through the entire first one in one sitting. And then went right back the next morning to my local bookstore and bought the next one because they didn't have the 3 or 4 or 5 at the time. But I got number 2, read that one over like a day and a half. It's bad. But yeah, beautiful. I also just got into Witch Hat Atelier, which is not retro, but it's absolutely amazing. I'm only 1 volume in, and my mind's already blown by it. So if you haven't checked out Witch Hat Atelier, you abso-freaking-lutely should. But with that being said, folks, I actually have to go record part 1 of our podcast for not this coming week, next week, which Lindsay is hosting and giving me something to watch. And I'll be honest, the last episode that she was on before she went on her break, I may or may not have told a couple fibs to end up having her watch one of the absolute worst spy ecchi animes in the world. It's called Mouse. It's terrible. If you like giant tatas, you'll have a great time, but for an anime, it's absolutely horseshit. So don't watch Mouse unless you really want to just see boobs a-bouncing. But thank you for hanging around, everybody, and especially you, Dak God, for chatting. We will catch you next time. I'm trying out YouTube streaming for a bit since that's where we post our videos, so we'll see if this goes better than Twitch. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the rest of our content. We got a bunch of shorts where I make Lindsay rank blindly Pokemon characters and Dragon Ball Z characters. We just recorded 5 more of those, so that's going to be fun. So yeah, we'll catch you next time. And thanks for hanging around and chatting while I went through this booster box for an hour and a half. Catch you next time.